Dr. Nick Raza talking to you about hip hinge, the relationship between the hamstrings and the spine. Okay, so this is a really important concept to understand to protect and not wear out your low back or your middle back for that matter. When we have tight hamstrings and poor mechanics at bending at the hips, what happens is we go down to pick something up, the hamstrings lock, they don't allow any more flexibility, and then we start to round our spine to pick that thing up like that. Oh, we're using our spine like a fishing pole. So there's two parts to this in learning how to do it safely. Okay, there's one is actually lengthening hamstrings. Number two is learning the movement pattern. Okay, just like you learn how to tie a shoe, a lot of times people have never learned proper hip mechanics on how to hinge from the hips. So the best way to learn that is actually with a stick. You can use a broomstick, whatever you got. This is a dowel here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this and we're gonna pin it basically to our butt, our sacrum here, to our middle back right there, and to my head. So all 3 points are really important. If I'm doing this, it doesn't work. We have to be all 3 points there. So this allows us to externally basically fuse the spine into one rod. Okay, so now when we bend over, all those 3 points should stay touching the rod there, the stick, okay? If we try to bend and they think it's coming off, I'm using my spine, okay? So again, this is good. If it starts to peel, that's spinal use. We want to use the hips only. So the hips, the joints of the hips are able to handle lots of repetitions of this. The joints of the spine don't like it, especially under load. So this is a great thing to practice by pinning these, and every day, just going through this motion, 5 in the morning, 5 in the evening, just working that repetition until you know you can do that free and easy without that, okay? But you got to practice it a lot with to make sure that you can do it without. Once you think you can, you want to look in the mirror and try to hip hinge and make sure that you're not rounding your spine at all. So that's the neuromuscular connection, the coordination aspect. There's also the hamstring lengthening component. That's a completely different video you can check out on hamstring stretching, how to increase the length of the hamstrings. Because when I first got into this, my low back was so bad, I could only bend this far because my hamstrings were so tight. So it took time and effort, but I was able to add about 6 or 8 inches to the length functionally to my hamstring, taking a lot of pressure off my back. So if you can understand the mechanics on how to use that hip hinge and then also lengthen your hamstrings, you can change your entire spine just from those, let alone the other things that we do together. So check it out, work on this, practice it daily. It can take a couple months to get this totally cold down where you know, hey, I'm picking up something and I'm not rounding. I'm using just that hip hinge mechanics to do that. So practice, 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 but it will pay off in the long run.